Hey guys, my name is Semi, and today I'm just going to be going over different areas and why I think Dead by Daylight is currently struggling, or at least why it's considered bad at times, and specifically in the present day. So yeah, let's go right into it. The first category is entitlement. Dead by Daylight's community has a very us versus them mentality when it comes to the different roles of killer and survivor. You can pretty much open any sort of forum post, YouTube video, and pretty much anything and notice this. It's an endless cycle of bashing the other side for, if anything, the faults of the developers in regards to gameplay mechanics. In this game, it will always be a possibility to be toxic, but you do this by using the mechanics that the developers have made abusable and left it that way without changes in years. Both sides can have horrific teams or players they can go against because of these mechanics that are at times not even purposely abused. However, people will lack the ability to look at the larger picture or to even sympathize with the other side because of this entitlement. A lot of people can get easily tilted without acknowledging their mistakes in a round, which is why I heavily admire people such as Altdarva, who has a habit of reflecting on his mistakes after each round. Player entitlement covers a lot more ground, and a good example of this that I can personally relate to is when it comes to licensed chapters. I accidentally propelled the Springtrap for Dead by Daylight hype train with my nostalgia-boosted chase music. That's kind of what got me somewhat popular in this community. But I've seen people put others down for wanting his addition amongst other characters. It's completely reasonable to not want a specific killer or chapter, totally, because you personally think they'd be too childish, you want other ones, wouldn't be a good match for the game. Those are all valid reasons, but following this theme of entitlement for both sides of wanting or not wanting a specific killer, people, become really aggressive, and it just really sucks. I think we should all be able to respect each other's opinions on, hey, you want this, that's cool, you don't want this, that's cool. But when it comes to game mechanics, general community, and wants for this game, the Dead by Daylight player base is really entitled at times. I'm not saying everyone is like that, and I can at least attest that I've been like this at times. But my main point is that Dead by Daylight is a game where players are prone to this entitlement due to its overall imbalance. So, yeah, entitlement, I feel, is a really big portion of why Dead by Daylight is bad at times, but I just feel like the way the developers treat the game is a reason why this entitlement exists. In my opinion, the developers have bad priorities in regards to the game, and it's having a bad impact on the game and overall player enjoyment. I'm not someone who's just saying, oh, behavior sucks, because also, in my opinion, they aren't all that bad. Some developers are people who do care about this game deeply, and I think overall, it's less of an issue of neglecting the game, but more of an issue of prioritizing the wrong things. However, I do agree that they are becoming a bit money hungry. What was that Halloween event? Behavior seems dead set on pushing out new chapters, new characters, and more, but takes them years to fix ongoing issues that cause players to leave the game, with many of those issues still being currently present to this day. A lot of these issues seem rather simple as well, which is quite scary. For a lot of these, they're now just starting to fix them, but still put them on a lower priority than new chapters, which I think is extremely detrimental. This includes Keeds, Mori's, overpowered add-ons, useless add-ons, overpowered perks, filler perks, and the list literally continues. Around the time Descend Beyond came out, they even said how Keys and Mori's were quote-unquote on their list to be fixed in the future. However, this is a problem because the community as a whole has been complaining about them for ages. I know they need to push out content, but a lot of the community would be fine with maybe even delaying a chapter by a month in order to give some fresh changes to certain killers and broken game mechanics. I think the developers don't realize how once players are used to the chapter, things go back to the base game. If the base game has issues, then players will encounter that every single round. The addition of new characters can only mask that for so long, and why so many people are leaving the game is because the developers have their priorities wrong with what they should work on. They seem to be going in an okay or somewhat better direction, for example map reworks. I know some people don't like the maps, and I agree that they still should prioritize other things because they're doing the game's presentation over the game's functionality, but this at least shows a little bit that they still want to improve on the base game a bit, and I hope that still continues in a larger sense.